All right, well, welcome to UAS Design, Build, and Fly. It's unfortunate we were not able to meet on Tuesday due to the inclement weather, so I'm going to kind of give you at least a little bit of the introduction to the course on what you would have received on Tuesday, just so that you can be prepared for what's due this week and coming into the future weeks. So I want to start off by saying that the class was intended to be a Monday, Wednesday class so that you'd be in the lab twice a week. And something happened in the administrative side, and this class got signed up as a Tuesday one day course, and that's just not enough time to accomplish everything. So the way the course is set, going forward, it's going to act more like a blended class where you'll have one class period in person with me, and then you'll have content that you'll have to do online. So let's talk about that for a second and how that's going to look. We typically have the majority of what we do is hands-on building stuff, learning how to design stuff, things that are done there in the space, the makerspace up on the second floor. And we're not going to be able to do that. We only have one class period, so we're going to have to take some of those lectures online, so that way when you come to the lab on Tuesdays, you'll be able to do some hands-on. So let's talk about the few different scenarios on the way you might see that. You might see us come in on Tuesday and have a lecture. For example, I might give you a demonstration and lecture on 3D design, and then you will be required to go back and take that other hour of instruction that we would have done face to face, and we would have come back in, say, for example, 2 days later, and then worked together, each one on the computers, and start working on your design. So you're going to have to do that on your own, and whether you're going to use your own laptop at your house or you're going to come in between normal business hours and sign in with the STEM coordinator who's downstairs from us there. She can get you into the space. Some of you may know Lacey. She was an advisor for probably a lot of you guys, and now that she's been moved to a new position, she's working as our STEM outreach coordinator, and she'll be able to help you get into the lab when you have lab time. So that's one example where we'll have lecture in class, and then you're going to be doing your lab time on your own. There may be some times where I'll send you a video instruction that will be the instruction/lecture, and you'll need to watch that on your own time prior to arriving Tuesday to come in and do the lab on Tuesday. So I may give you the design class online, and then you can watch that at your own convenience, but then you're going to come in on Tuesday and log into the computers and do your lab work. So it's going to be, in some ways, it's going to be a little bit easier for you because you're going to be able to work that second hour in where it fits best in your schedule. It may be a little more challenging for some of the assignments because I'm not standing there next to you, helping you through that process, but we're going to make it work. Most of the things that we do, so I'll get into the course description here in just a little bit, into the content. You'll see that content has deadlines. Due by this date, for example, discussion, right? You have a discussion, it's due by this date, there's no questions asked. It's just real simple. Where we may get into designing drones, and we're not going to have a hard date in the beginning as to when those are due. We're going to let the natural progression of our interaction through the lectures and the videos work us up to the point where we're ready to start designing, and then we're going to kind of base off of the class's progress in that design. At some point, I'll put a line in the sand and say, okay, we're going to complete this module. This is done. But those are a little bit more flexible, and so I think we'll be able to work through that. Okay. Okay, now here's a disclaimer. Because this class was intended to be primarily in person, then all of my lectures were going to be just, me and you face to face, going through, doing stuff, building stuff, learning equipment. And now that, unfortunately, we've had to switch that at the last minute, that content is not ready for you in the course. So I'm having to build that, bring that in from other semesters. I'm having to put that content in. So in the beginning, you're only going to see a week or two at a time. You're not going to be able to look completely out into the future because I'm having to create the content that would have been just face-to-face lecture and hands-on instruction. Okay, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Let's jump into what's this called? Blackboard? Let's jump into Blackboard. So right now, the only thing you're going to be able to see is week 1. That's the week we are currently in now. All of our weeks are going to end on Sunday at midnight. We'll see how that goes. If typically in these courses, when I find that I see kind of where everyone else is due, a lot of the other courses are due on Sundays. Some of your courses may have a Monday or Tuesday deadline, and I'm going to start off with Sunday. We're going to see what happens if we see that the entire class is getting really overwhelmed with assignments that are due on Sunday. I might consider moving those due dates out a little bit. My concern is that there may be some benefit in everything being due throughout all your courses on the same day. It could be, a plus, so when everything's due and you don't miss stuff. So we're just kind of gauge that right now. Everything's set at Sundays. Let's jump in and look at week 1 and what you're going to see. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these things. I know sometimes your teachers will go through and read each one of these and read the syllabus. I'm not going to do a bunch of that. All that information is here that you can go over. I'll just, give a brief introduction to myself. I am Professor Medrano. I'm an adjunct instructor here teaching all the UAS courses. So I have design, build, and fly. I have internship courses and also Part 107 flight operations. Some of you are signed up in that course. We're still hoping that's going to make in second semester. So if there are those of you who have not signed up for that, because they're not equal. So if you're signed up for this course, to get the micro credential, you also need that Part 107, which starts second 8 weeks. And if you haven't done that, I would encourage you to do so. Otherwise, that's not going to make for the rest of those students that have signed up for that. So we only need a few more people to pop over and do that. If you have some concerns about being able to keep up with the course load, if you already have a pretty big course load, I want you to know that second 8 week course is 100% online, and it's at your own pace. So kind of once you get started, you can go ahead and just start plowing through that. And so you could work at your own pace. The deadlines can be a little bit more flexible if we need to accommodate some difficult schedules. So don't let that scare you away from doing that. Okay. All of the normal things, student services, student support, Microsoft technology, any of the things that you need, they're here listed like they are in every course. I'm not going to read those over for you. They're available for you. If you have any questions regarding any of these things related to our course or the university, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to have any conversation with you. I will just briefly speak on technology requirements. Of course, you're going to need a computer to complete this course. It would be great if you have a laptop, because there will be times where we're going to work in the makerspace, and having your own equipment there is going to make a world of difference. And sometimes we have some technology struggles with the computers that are there in the makerspace. If not, there are those there that you can use. There's the Mac Lab. There's other computer labs throughout the campus that you can have access to. And if we happen to be meeting and you don't have a laptop to bring, you can use one of the computers that are there in the room. I don't think there's enough for everyone, so at least a handful of you would have to bring one. I would suggest that if you've got time to go to the makerspace, you can check in the makerspace during normal business hours, find a computer, log in, make sure that you're good logging into a school computer so you know that you have access and it works. The only other thing that I'm thinking right now, at least for the first part of the semester, that you should consider purchasing is a caliper. So Harbor Freight's just down the road, across the street from the Reezers, and you can get one as cheap as $1.79. The problem with the one that's $1.79 is you're going to have to be smarter than me, because this becomes very difficult when you're trying to read using these numbers here, and sometimes that conversion might be a little bit difficult. You're more than welcome to try. Personally, I am. I lost him. I am more of a fan of the digital caliper. This particular one that is $20 is a really good one, but as well saving the money. I actually have this one here that's $49. So if you're really serious about design and you think you're going to use it, that one will be great. But this one here for $10 will get the job done for the semester. Will work just as well. May not last as long, may not be as durable, but for what we're doing, absolutely this will work. So this is kind of where I think we should settle in. $10 purchase at Harbor Freight. All right, let's just jump into then what you'll see each week. This should be what you typically see. So into week 2, these things will be gone, and you'll see a discussion week 1 or discussion week 2, and so on. Assignment week 1, assignment week 2, all the way through the end of the course, and then this Tuesday lab section. All right. All of these are subject. I don't think this will change. This probably won't change. This tab might change a little bit if we're having trouble interacting with it. This is the first time I've used this particular tab. Let's just kind of work through that for the next couple of weeks and see how we like it. I think I'm going to add what you don't see here. I'll add up here at the top. I'm going to add a messages folder, a folder that says something like new messages, new videos, new instruction, some type of place that is located there at the top. It's quick and easy access. Anything that would be new content. So for example, if I decide to make a video that I want you to see before we meet next Tuesday, I'll probably put that in a folder up here at the top, and then I will send you a message via our message system. And I think I'll be able to link to that that video or that message. So if you get it in your email, you'll get an email that says, hey, you got a new message. Or if you log into Blackboard, let me see, I have to come out of student view for a second. If you are out of Blackboard, if you're in Blackboard, you'll see to have one new message there. So you'll see your messages here, and I'll try to send a copy to your email so you'll know that happened as well. And then let me go back into the course. We're going to jump back into student preview because this is what you can see. And let's jump down here to discussion 1. Okay. So each week you'll have this same thing reprinted. These are the instructions for your discussion. It'll be followed by a short video and then a post prompt. All right. Now, let's talk about 150 words to 300 words. That's where your target range should be. I think you're going to have a tough time making a valid point in 150 words, and there may be from time to time where you reach 300 words and you haven't quite said what you want to say. I don't want you to be scared of losing points if you go over 300. If you get to 300 and you need 3 or 4 more sentences to complete your thought, go ahead and finish them. I know some teachers may count off for you, and then now you're deducting content and you're spending 30 minutes trying to figure out what content do I want to deduct because I feel like it's all important. I don't want to limit you, but I don't want to put 500 and then make you spend 30, 40 minutes trying to create an additional thought just to fill up space. Hope that makes sense, because the idea is not that you just become super stressed about word count. There's no flexibility under 150 because I don't think you can make a valid case under 150, but between 150, 300, exceed 300 if you need to, but don't ramble on. So if you write 1,500 words, chances are you're not writing a very good post because you're just rambling on. I don't think there's quite 1,500 words to say about these things without just babbling on. And I don't want you to spend that much time there. You've got other courses, other things to do. Yeah, you're going to get these every week, and by Wednesday night at midnight, you should have completed yours. Because on Thursday, around noon, we're now going to respond to 2 of our peers. I'm going to ask you to speak in at least 50 words and give an insight quotation. You're going to give an insight quotation for both of these, and your quotations don't count for your word count. All right, so you're going to be making a constructed response, agreeing, disagreeing, making a different point of view, some sort of response other than great point, good job, great writing. That's not the point. If you agree with a particular statement, you might have a different reason why you agree. That's what the point of this is. So you'll read through all of those other posts, find 2 of those that you want to respond to, and then make those response. Okay, so here at the bottom is your prompt, and then you will type your response in here, or if you prefer, I prefer when I do these to write in Word, so I can use Grammarly and all the other editing features that are there, and then copy and paste that into here. Do not upload a file, because everyone needs to read these. So if you upload a file, if you just click on here and upload a Word document, none of us are going to read that, and you're just going to get a 0. So copy and paste whatever you want to say in there. Okay? I don't want to do that. I want to do this. All right. Then you're going to see an assignment each week, and you do have 1 attempt at that assignment. So when you start the assignment, this should not be more than 30 minutes. It should be less than 30 minutes, probably more like a 15-minute read and respond, and they're going to be easy questions. So we're going to start this attempt. We're going to read these few paragraphs, and then we're going to answer these questions. If by chance you have to leave, you can save and close. And then if you have to come back later, you can continue the attempt. All right, so you don't have to finish all at one point. If you read halfway through and you get an important phone call you got to take, then you can save and close and just not worry about it and come back to it. You only have 1 attempt, but you have the whole week to come in and out of the assignment. Okay. And now here's one of probably the most important tabs that we have. I have the attempts at unlimited, and it is worth 0. So this is more of an informational space, and I've got it set up as an assignment so that I can ask a question and kind of record that you've been there. And let me show you why. The assignment is going to have a content, and it's going to say something like it should have for Tuesday's lab, that there is no in-person class today. And then just asking you to validate that you read it, and then submit it. Don't worry so much about the due date. The due date is set because that's the day of the lab. That's the day that we're supposed to go to the lab. So if you read it after that day, then the information that said bring a laptop to class today, or don't come to class today, we're working remotely, you've missed that information. So by Monday, you should have already submitted this, that I read the post, so you know what to expect on Tuesday. Real simple. It's not worth any points. You're the ones going to lose when you show up to the makerspace and find out that class was canceled, and you never acknowledge that in the assignment. Okay? So that should be kind of how this is going to progress. If we have additional content, like I send out a video that I need you to watch before the next meeting, it will be in a folder up here at the top. It will come through messages, and I'll also add it in the space relevant for that meeting. So if it's due by next Tuesday, I'll put it in week 2 Tuesday lab so that you have that information. So no matter where you go, you're going to see that information was sent to you to put in and look at and review. All right, so I think that's all of the things I want to cover. I will tell you that all of the assignments have due dates, and they're all due on the due dates. So I have it selected now not to receive any late work, and I don't plan to change that. You have plenty of time to get the work done. If you know in advance that you are not going to be available, I can make that content either available to you. For example, next week you're going in for surgery. And right now, if you go in there, you'll notice there's nothing for week 2, right? So if you need extra time on week 2, then I'll either make that available to you sooner so you can work on it before going into surgery, or I'll give you that extension so you can work past that time. But as a general rule of thumb, it's due when it's due, or it is a 0. All right, that should be all that I have to get us started. And if you have any questions, you may send down a message or an email, and I'll get back with you. Thanks.